I've been doing leatherwork for nearly 10 years and I've never fallen in love with a detail on a bag quite as quickly as I did with the flap and these gussets. Welcome back. So in part 1 we cut the exterior, we assembled the front and back panels and we started the gussets. Today we're finishing them and I'm going to show you the detail that quite honestly I think pulls the entire bag together. So if you haven't watched part 1, go watch. I will wait, because basically none of this will make sense without it. The link is in the description. Again, I'll wait. For those who are back, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss part 3, which is going to be the final assembly and reveal of this beautiful masterpiece. I cannot wait. If you remember from part 1, these gussets are fully laminated. This is not something I do regularly, and it's actually not that common within leatherwork, simply because when you laminate two pieces of leather they get quite firm, but also they do end up having less repairability simply because you can't take the sides apart. However, the former of those reasons is exactly why I have done it. I wanted that structure, I wanted that shape to be held really nicely, and the details we're adding today do exactly that. Now, this bag, like basically all my other pieces, is named after the first person that it's made for. In this case, it is made for my business partner's best friend called, well, one of her friends, Maddie. So we're embossing her name for obvious reasons. Anyway, if you guys want loads of behind the scenes, a bit of BTS action, don't forget to come over and join my Skool community. The link will be in the description box below. I am super excited to have you there. I'm going to have one-to-one tutorials, I'm going to have all my patterns, I'm going to have everything there that used to be on my website. So come down, join, I'd love to see you there. When you're getting ready to do the lining, it's really important you put non-stretch tape behind the pocket, and I'll tell you why. So, what happens with the pocket? If someone uses it regularly, there's going to be a lot of tension within the threads, within the stitching of that pocket, simply because it's used regularly. So you're going to be pulling on it quite a lot. But the back of this is going to obviously get quite a lot of tension through it, as I just said, but that's going to cause ripping over time. A really common point of failure for any bag, leather, material, whatever, is the stitching of the pockets. So the way we get round that is we put non-stretch tape behind it. Therefore you're stitching through the non-stretch tape when you're putting the pocket on, and it allows for so much less tension through those threads. In fact, you won't pull through that. It's almost impossible. Lining up a pocket is hard. Lining up a pocket on a bag that's never been made before is even harder. So how do we do it? Well, we mask it out. I use a 3M masking tape. I can't remember what it's called. If I could, I would tell you the details. However, it is really good for leather because it doesn't peel off finishes. A lot of masking tape will peel off the finish of your leather. This will all peel off the finish of veg tan leather. However, I've tested it on most chrome tans that I use regularly, and it doesn't peel off the finish of any of them. So we mask out the area, we then glue it in, and we use that same masking line as a template line for the pocket. And the other thing that's really important is to cover, you don't see it here, but to cover the knot that you tie in the thread on the back with non-stretch tape, just because it allows for no palpable feeling of that knot if you were to ever feel it through the back. Tapping your threads does two things. It closes the stitching holes, but it also flattens the stitching, and that allows it to look much more luxurious. Luxurious, what a beautiful word. What am I doing here? So the leather underneath the flap of this bag is going to be the same as the exterior. The leather inside the bag is going to be a different color. How do we do that? We attach a flap lining onto the main pocket. You can do this in two ways, onto the main lining. You can do this in two ways. You can either edge paint it, but that takes years to wait for, and I didn't have years. I had 12 days to make this, which you'll know if you've watched part 1. If you haven't, I've just spoiled it, but go watch part 1 anyway. The other is a turned edge. Normally, turned edges are about a 5mm overlap. That is not wide enough for stitching, so you have to do a 10mm overlap in order for it to stitch through properly without tearing. If you guys want a full, in-depth, step-by-step on how to do a turned edge, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will add it to my Skool account, my Skool community. If you haven't already joined my Skool community, please go do that, because I would absolutely love to see you over there, and it helps the channel grow enormously. I talk about scratching up leather a lot. Why do I do that? Well, scratching up leather allows glue to stick to it, because if you don't scratch up leather on chrome tan non-aniline finish leather, the glue will not absorb into those fibers, so it will not stick the leather together. It will just peel off at its first convenience. So we always scratch off the top layer of leather just to give it some bite. I am doing this upside down. Normally I would do this the front way up. I would just put the flap lining onto the main bag lining and you'd be done. However, because I've never made this bag before, I didn't actually know how much overlap I wanted, so I had to do it upside down, which was not actually the easiest thing in the world to do. It was a little bit difficult actually. I had to FaceTime my business partner about 9 times during this, just to make sure that the overlap was right, and I was not indeed having a stroke. We're going to put the same double-sided tape on the back of this for exactly the same reason. We're stitching through leather and there's no grain on the back side. If there is grain on the back side, you do not need the double-sided tape. It's simply there to give it strength, because the flesh side of leather is much weaker. There's no dermis basically. I'm using a 3mm pricking iron, and I'm using a 0.45mm Misi thread. It's basically the only thread I use. Sometimes I use 0.55mm Misi thread, but I basically only do that if I'm doing a piped edge, because you have significantly thicker edges, and therefore you need more strength within the thread to actually hold it together, because you're pulling it quite tight to get a really nice pipe. We decided to go with quite a flat foot. And this was not my decision actually, but it was the decision of my design partner, and I think it went well. What do you think? Do you like the flat foot better, or do you like the taller foot better? What did I just do there? So what I did was I covered the back of the lock on the front panel, not the flap, the front panel, with bonded leather, because that is going to be palpable, it's going to be feelable on the inside of the bag if you don't. If you put bonded leather on the back and you skive the edge down to 0 with the flat side up, not the skive side, the flat side up, when you run your hand across it, you will not feel anything. There's a little hack for you. Now these are the gussets that I fell in love with. I didn't design them, my partner did, my business partner did. She designed them, and they are beautiful. They're a work of art. They may just look like a rectangle at the moment, but they are not, and I promise you that. I'm not going to be showing you the handle. I'm not going to be showing you the handle simply because It's a little bit of a trade secret and I'm extremely proud of it. If you want to see the handle in person, you're more than welcome to buy one of these bags from us. My link is in the description box below. However, I'm not going to be showing you how to make these handles. And it's time to attach the main body to the lining, the exterior to the lining. I'm using an EcoSar 16 PRU water-based adhesive. It's the only glue I use, apart from when I'm gluing to metal, when I use a solvent-based glue. And there we go. I am stitching the front panel. You always do the top of the front before you do anything else, so you can edge paint it beautifully before the rest. Thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you next time for part 3. Have a phenomenal week. Take care.